Better be hitting record if you're making noises like that.
Yeah.
Making some money on them vocals.
No, I think we still pay to do this more than we get paid. We need sponsors. Someone find us a fucking sponsor.
Someone sponsor me. I'm not Brad Pitt.
I love you're like, sponsor me. Like, I'm right here, dude.
Yeah, right?
Someone sponsor us, maybe? Come on, dog.
No, you get enough attention. Okay.
Fucking chair.
Spencer can say our name, but not Rob.
Not Rob.
Fuck that guy. Are we recording? We're recording, right?
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, we're on the air slide, God.
Yeah. So, what's their name this week?
Our name this week is probably.
There you go.
Probably.
That's our name. ...
Probably.
Probably. All right. That is done. So how the hell are you? You survived state.
I did survive state. It was a great time. I spent a whole 4 days straight, woke up, ate, started drinking, was up for 9 more hours drinking,
Right.
fell asleep, slept for 10 hours. I know my math is off, but how many hours are there in a day? 19, right?
Yeah.
Still 19?
Pretty sure.
Okay, good. Because that's how many hours I was aware that I existed.
And somewhere in there we played some darts.
Yeah, right?
The whole point of going.
Yeah, the whole point of going
was darts, not.
Yeah. I will go most places if there's alcohol and things to throw.
Yeah. Well, you passed out in the hotel room, and I went out to see Jackson, all that, and they had people everywhere.
Yeah.
On the lawn out where all the RVs and stuff were. So that was fucking hilarious. Did he tell you about it? They almost got in trouble for continuing to relight their fire.
No.
They're not supposed to have open flames, so they came by and told him to turn it off, and apparently he was still holding the lighter, and they kind of stopped a little ways away, and they kind of had to stare down. And finally, they left. He lit it back up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They come back later, we have to ask you again. We're gonna have to ask you to leave. And you don't want me going anywhere right now. I am lit.
Yeah, right.
It's pretty good.
I was not in public. They threw me in public.
That's right.
But also, it was what's it called? It was a fire pit.
Fire pit.
It wasn't a natural fire.
No, they still consider open flames.
That's stupid. Is a lighter an open flame?
I guess.
Yeah.
No lighting then, huh?
Yeah, that's fucking. Now I'm upset. Why are we starting with this topic? Are you trying to upset me that the world is still run by idiots?
Yeah, I guess I am. I have to. Maybe you're right. Maybe that we should stop thinking about the fact that it is pretty much just run by idiots.
They're idiots. They're all morons.
Ugh. And they fight like
little girls. Little girls passing notes in the 5th grade of why someone else is a turd.
Pretty much. Ugh.
I hate you. I love you.
Are you in the Epstein files? I'm not in the Epstein files.
Yeah, right. I'm 99% sure that everyone I like
is in the Epstein files.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised by anything at this. Chris Benoit is probably in the Epstein files. We're going to get sued.
We're getting sued.
I'm joking. That would have been the 5th thing he did wrong.
We're worried about that? Yeah. Let's not talk about the whole family situation.
But anywho.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that your topic? Is it about the Epstein files?
No.
Oh, okay.
What's your topic?
My topic is and honestly, this is a very general topic.
Right.
I'm surprised we have not talked about yet, just based on how often I bitch about it.
Oh, here we go.
1, 2, 3. Fuck.
Counting?
No. Let me get my punchline, you asshole.
All right, sorry.
1. Yeah, I'm counting again. 1, 2, 3. Fuck country music.
Wow.
I said it.
I thought that was my line.
Fuck country music. Okay.
What did it do to assault you this week?
Okay. So, friend of mine posted a picture of Morgan Wallen golfing.
Okay. I don't even know who that is.
I know he's a country guy. That's all
we
I know is that he's a country guy. I think he's the one who got kicked off of SNL for using the N-word in a recording. And then years later, he was let back on and he ended up walking off stage at the end of the show and then tweeted, "Going back to God's country."
Oh, he'd been kicked off before. I didn't even know that. I know the walked off during the handshake thing. But.
Yeah. So no. He and you know, he showed up. He did his job. He walked away. I mean, he's a country artist. I don't expect these people to be deep thinkers. You know, he could have just been confused, and he was like, "Oh, I thought this was the way to the door says exit, so I walked that way. Like, I thought that was the exit, but then if I looked left, there would be another exit sign, and I got confused, so I went for the one that was right in front of my face." That's probably how he talks. But he posed, my friend, and this upsets me when people I genuinely like country music, and I don't mean old country music, and that's maybe something we need to make clear here. I don't mean Johnny Cash. I love Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. You know, the old guys.
Yeah,
that was real country music. These guys worked very hard. They had nothing to talk about, so they wrote about very simple stories, and you know, that was their culture. Now, it's a bunch of morons pandering to other morons, being like, "Oh, I like girls. I like girls. I like pickup trucks. I like cowboy hats. I like tequila or whiskey."
It's whiskey, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Do they do? I guess they do tequila too.
Yeah, and well, they sing about tequila more than whiskey because women like tequila more than whiskey, or at least that's what they think. You know, and I do mean they. Okay, I am putting emphasis on those people here. Those people meaning hicks. But
you know, we're close to Roy. We're gonna get. They're gonna firebomb us by the.
I work in Enum Claw. Whatever could happen in Roy could happen in Enum Claw just as well.
You're right.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing. I work in Enum Claw. For those of you who don't know, Enum Claw is a country ass town. Most of these people also hate modern country music because it is garbage. It is so, and anytime I hear, well, I've heard it throughout my life, you know, "Oh, I want a good country boy. You know, I want a down-home country boy." And I'm like, you want a fucking idiot. That's what you fucking want. You're literally advertising that you like having dumb men around you. Like, I don't want him to know too many large words. I don't want him to have a job where he can describe it with more than a sentence. I don't want a guy who can read. I don't like that.
I wish my sister didn't marry one of those.
Yeah.
Literally description of it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like,
well,
for me,
and they're now divorced, so I mean.
Yeah, right. What? Maybe he wasn't dumb enough. But
brought a chainsaw out at the wedding. I shit you not.
Jesus Christ. Popped a Rainier at the divorce hearing.
Yeah. No, I don't think he even drinks that classy. It was some other trash
Old Gold.
lager beers.
Rolling Rock.
Maybe, yeah, I think I meant a Rolling Rock or Blue Meanie or something like that.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's not great. No, it wasn't even Rolling Rock's better than what the fuck you.
Yeah.
Some ice thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, back to Morgan Wallen, because this upsets me. So Morgan Wallen was golfing, to which I say, we'll talk about golf in our next episode and how much I fucking hate that.
Golf. Yeah,
but
that we could probably make a 3-chapter series on how much golf is hated in this room.
But Morgan Wallen's golfing. Someone took a picture of him. My friend reposted it, and I got upset. Okay? And by upset, I mean I said my usual snarky shit. because it was just Morgan Wallen's out here golfing, and I was like, he should be out here learning how to read. Okay, that's what he should be doing. And then my friend's like, well, good thing he knows how to read and write. And I'm like, I'll believe that when he learns to write a song that isn't shit. Okay. To which she called me a hater, and to my surprise, did not block me. Which, you know, I'm not used to. I'm used to giving unfavorable opinions and then people getting like
Upset.
way too upset about it, and me being like, well, now that I know you're getting upset about fucking Morgan Wallen, I'm gonna just keep pushing buttons here, okay?
What else is on this keyboard?
Yeah, see which button sets the bomb off. Set a timer in the corner, see at what point they're just like, I don't want to talk to you ever again. And I'm like, well, that's also what you have in common with Morgan Wallen. You're never gonna talk to him, and you're never gonna talk to me.
This really set you off, huh?
I'm so upset right now. Okay, it upsets me to this day. Every day that I hear a country song and people and it all sounds the same. It's all and now they're covering hip hop songs,
Right.
and making them like country hip hop songs, and I'm like, haven't you guys been insulting these people for the last 20, 25 years, saying they don't actually make real music? And now that your songs are so shit, you're like, oh, it's okay. We're just going to cover their songs and make it ours. And then all these fucking morons are not going to realize that this song's already been made by people who actually applies to.
Fair.
Fuck Florida Georgia Line. Okay. They were the first ones. They did that song. Was it with Nelly? Was that with Nelly or Billy Ray Cyrus or something?
You're out in a world of music I barely know.
Good. That's why we hang out. Okay.
Go on.
Okay. If you even brought up, honestly, the fact that you don't know who Morgan Wallen is why we're friends.
That's fair.
You know? Morgan Wallen, Luke Bryan, the others.
All I've been hearing lately is the Shabuzi song, right? Is that country?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I mean,
fifth of whiskey or whatever.
Yeah, I've heard of Shabuzi, and I honestly, if it has come on the radio in Enumclaw, which it probably has, I was probably like, this is just the last Hick song we were listening to. It's just longer than I realized.
Probably.
But yeah, no, I don't get it. I don't get why people like dumb down their music, like just to be, or because lyrically it's pathetic.
Lyrically, okay.
Tequila makes her clothes fall off.
Oh, what was the one I heard the other day when I was at the restaurant? She's rocking a beer gut.
Yeah.
Who? I don't know. I don't know that one. I was like, who thinks this is a great idea for a
Yeah.
song? me and the waitress was just like, this is gross.
Yeah. It is gross. Okay.
Like, so yeah, I guess there's a bit of that going on.
I mean, there are modern country artists.
I'm usually the one supposed to come with the other opinion in this one, as I
Yeah.
usually do, and I'm sitting here going like, no, I don't see it. I don't see where I go with this.
Usually he's trying to push me off of my soapbox. Right now he's building a concrete wall around it. Like, don't get off it. Don't come down.
You can see if I can seal it in, cut off all the air.
Well, and so, and I will say there's one country artist that is a thing right now that I'm quite fond of. His name is Chris Stapleton. And I like Chris Stapleton because he sounds like a rock singer. And it's hilarious to me when people who like country music like Chris Stapleton, they're like, he's the greatest of all time. He's so cool. He's got this cool, like, great voice. He knows how to play guitar. And I'm like, you know who else knows how to do that? Every rock star on the fucking planet. Every single one. They do exactly what he does. They just did it 20 to 30 years before he did. Okay? Like, the fact that you guys don't even know who Chris Cornell is.
Oh, Chris Cornell can't play guitar.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't. Have you ever looked at any of the videos where
Okay, let me rephrase that.
He's just He's basically strumming one chord,
Yes.
like most of the time with Soundgarden. I don't know if he learned to play guitar later, but no, he does not know how to play guitar.
Okay,
he did not know how to play guitar.
I will say Chris Cornell knows how to play an acoustic guitar as well as anybody in modern country music who isn't Brad Paisley, Chris Stapleton, or Zach Brown.
All right.
Okay, I will die on this hill. Okay,
You very well might.
they are armed usually. That is
Yeah.
true. But
Don't stand up too tall.
yeah, right.
But okay, so I'll give you that. But no, Chris Cornell, like, while great artist, don't get me wrong, really good at music. Like, he was never good at guitar.
I mean, he was never a virtuous guitar, but I assume he
was
knew.
more for his voice and his lyrics.
Yeah.
Man. He was a poet.
I
he was
know
a fucking poet.
He knew at least 5 chords. I know he knew at least
And he
5
couldn't necessarily
chords.
play them all in the same song.
Well, yeah.
I mean, watch any of the Soundgarden videos.
Yeah.
Just watch how he's holding the guitar. That's how he does it live, too.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Anywho, I stand by my statement, though, okay? You take any of the singers that they're like, oh, this guy's good. He's different. He's great. I'm like, this guy is a rock singer from 30 years ago. That's what this guy sounds like.
I'm sitting here thinking about all of this, and I'm like, where are we at with American culture right now?
Yeah.
We're trying to bring back the past like it was
yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, Johnny Cash wrote 1 million songs.
Right.
Covered 1 million songs, recorded 1 million songs. And that's because back then the spoken word was like, you didn't get a lot of it, okay? It was down south. Not a lot of talking, not a lot of conversation, not a lot of deep thought, okay? He wrote a song called I've Been Everywhere, where he literally listed off places.
Yeah.
And it's a great song, but you can't do that anymore. Okay, you have millions and millions of dollars. Go places. I can't go places. Okay, we drove an hour to state last week. That's the most traveling I've done in 3 years.
I guess the difference for me between Johnny Cash and whatever artist's name I've already forgotten you said them. I'm trying to not remember.
Luke Bryan has 2
Stop
first
saying that
names.
name.
That's fucking stupid.
Stop.
Luke Bryan's a stupid name. Okay, you should have
Johnny
changed it.
Cash? You can be called Cash. Johnny Cash has 2 first names.
No.
No.
I'm just going to disagree with you. Okay?
No.
There's only one Johnny Cash.
Well, yes, there's only one Johnny Cash, but can be 2 first names.
Okay. He was competing against a guy named fucking Elvis, okay?
Oh, they didn't compete. There was no competition.
I
there.
know. But
they
they toured together.
Thing. Yeah.
They were signed to the same label.
I mean, hell yeah. I'd go see that concert.
I would
Elvis
too.
and Cash? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Elvis, Cash, Roy Orbison, Jared Lee Lewis,
I'm getting like
June Carter Cash.
half-mast here. Stop.
Granted, it was just June Carter, She became Cash.
No,
Great
true.
movie. Go watch Walk the Line,
It is a good movie. You should watch it.
okay? It has my alternate drinking personality, Joaquin Phoenix, in it. But anywho, if you are a country fan and you are listening to this,
I never got to finish my point before you weren't ranting.
oh, I'm
on.
sorry. Go ahead. That's my bad.
You're fine, Mr. Railroad. The thing between Cash and the others, before you went off on first names, and I had to come around on that one. Cash always stood for something. He stood for, as the Man in Black, a lot of his music revolved around that, injustices of those. I really don't know. I guess it's kind of fallen into your point a bit. I don't think there's much country music that is actually standing up for bigger things. It's like, I want small towns again. I want, like, all the songs like you don't try that in a small town, I think is one of them, or some shit like that.
I forget who does that, but yeah, that's a thing. But you're right. You're 100% right. It's like literally
Nothing progressive in country music that I can think of. I'd love to know some progressive music in country.
I think probably the only artists who are probably female artists.
Well, I was going to say Beyonce. Didn't she release a country album?
Like, I mean, and I haven't listened to it, but there's a whole upheaval about that where they're like, this isn't real country music. And I'm like,
why wouldn't it be real country music?
Yeah. Well,
what, what makes it country music then?
Yeah. And well,
what makes it not country music?
Yeah. And I want a detailed list of why. But, you know, I think of like, that's the thing for me, too, is that I'm like, the ladies of country music are kicking ass, and they have been for the last 50 years. Okay, I'm thinking of like Dolly Parton, you know, Dolly Parton, who's still kicking, still cool as shit. I don't necessarily like her music, but I'll go party with Dolly. She's a kick-ass broad. Okay, Shania Twain, Carrie Underwood, Miranda Lambert. I would party with any of them more than I'd ever party with any of the other dudes that we named who write stupid fucking songs about being dumber.
I don't know. Okay. So I like Camouflage. That one's about nothing, but it's fun.
I don't know what that is.
Brad Paisley wrote it? Camouflage is literally about just wearing camouflage.
Oh.
Like they even joke about going to the prom in like camouflage. Like,
gotcha. Well, Brad Paisley, from what I understand,
I think that's Brad Paisley.
Has a good sense of humor about himself and about country, and he's an incredible guitarist.
Yeah,
like I've watched him jam on shit, and I'm just like, this guy's a fucking monster. He's a killer. and granted, I don't like his music at all, but you know, he has a song about fishing and about how like his wife's gonna leave him and she's like got her bags packed. Fishing. No,
or he'd rather be fishing.
Yeah, and you know, she's got her bags packed, and she's like, I'm leaving because you're too in love with fishing, so it's me or fishing. And he's like, so I'm gonna miss her. And I think that's fucking hilarious. But it also shows a certain amount of self-consciousness about what you do and how he got there.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
So. Yeah, self-awareness is the word you're looking for, sir.
But while we're on the subject, fuck Rascal Flatts.
Is this another country singer?
No, this is a country group. And
okay. So country group. All right. So we're still
they sing
still down this rabbit hole. Good.
What hurts the most? What hurts the most is listening to your fucking music, Rascal Flatts. Okay. But no, I think you're right. And you bring up a good point that there's no like real in my experience, there's no real struggle in country music anymore, aside from like my relationship went bad, which, you know, that sucks.
Kenny Loggins is country, right?
No,
not Kenny Loggins. No, not Kenny Loggins. Who did The Gambler?
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. He was country, right?
Yeah,
he was phenomenal.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got to know when to hold them.
Danger
and you got to know when to fold them, okay?
Right.
And you got to know when to change the fucking channel, Rascal Flatts.
But like Kenny Rogers actually, like the Gambler was a very well told story through the song.
Well, and I'm all for the storytelling, like, because that's what country traditionally is. It's telling a story,
to be, right?
Yeah, and it's really gotten to the like. Well, hip-hop artists are making too much money over here making songs about
booze, bitches, and cars.
Yeah, so we should do that.
Right.
And then they do that, and it's like, A, it's just not as good. And B, this is what people, you know, country artists have been shitting on for the last 100 years.
It's not as well executed.
You know?
In my opinion. If I were to think about some of my favorite, like, even Dre songs where it gets into pretty much orgies, it's still more, I feel it's more well executed lyrically than the way I've, at least the country songs we've brought up so far.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, but Dre's also a producer. So when he has to musically make those beats, and it's like, I would rather listen to those beats than the same twangy guitar. And you know, there's very rarely even a decent guitar solo, you know, much less just like, I'm going to play this twangy guitar for like back this up and really hit home that I'm not very good at electric guitar, you know?
Well, to shift a little bit, I think, let me double check on this, but have you heard of the group Drumeo? Or
No.
it's a YouTube group, and I've been starting to follow it a bit. It's been really cool to kind of check out what they had going on. I went down a rabbit hole watching like Stuart Copeland, and he had a appearance on there, and it was really interesting to have him talk through and walk through like how they kind of made a lot of the songs from the drum perspective. But they bring in all these really cool artists, and they kind of talk through their process and how they kind of do music and kind of show off their sets. Like they bring in their, big, sets and all that. And within them, they will give them a different song that they don't know without the drum beat on it, and then have them try and create something around it. And it was really interesting to watch some of these like artists, like one of them taught at Carnegie Mellon jazz drumming, and they gave him a police song, and then had him and he's just trying to figure out what it is, and then recreate it. It was just fun. Yeah, Drumeo, Drumeo, and they brought in another like Brazilian, really famous Brazilian drummer, and she had to figure out some of these songs from like Hoobastank, things like that. And it was just really interesting to see them, how close they came in some areas and how they completely shifted in other areas. And like, it was kind of funny, like they were talking to the jazz guys, like, when's the last time you even ever hit on the one or the three?
Yeah.
Things like that. But it's been really fun to kind of go through that. And they're pretty much promoting a online like learn to drum program, but they're really engaging YouTube videos and really understanding how they kind of got to these points, and understanding where like there was a Foo Fighters song that a jazz guy kind of looked at. It's like, oh yeah, I can tell that Dave Grohl has jazz chops because of how he did this, and this, and things like that. And it was just really interesting to go down and understand how that kind of went on. I've just been enjoying the hell out of watching them. If anybody's interested, they should go look it up, put them on. They're like 20-minute videos, and between working on that and then trying somebody else's song, I forget which one they had Stuart Copeland do, but it was kind of fun to see just what he'd create, things like that.
Also, Drumeo, if you also hate country music, definitely sponsor us. Co-sponsoring.
I don't think they're allowed to. They probably have to. Now that I go think about it, I don't think I've seen a country drummer yet. But
that's because I don't know. Like, if they had to do like an entire episode around a country drummer, it would probably be about 90 seconds.
You are on this horse.
Oh yeah,
dog.
no, like he'd be like, "All right, I need another Budweiser King of Beers."
No one drinks Budweiser anymore, right? They'll drink Bud Light
Yeah, or Coors Light.
or Coors Light.
Yeah, no, if you own a bar in Enumclaw, Washington, and you sell bottles of Coors Light, you could model your entire bar after that. All we do is we sell Coors Light, and people will come to your bar.
That's so interesting. Yeah, no one just drinks Budweiser. It's weird.
Yeah, no, honestly,
I'd rather drink Budweiser
yeah.
than Bud Light or Coors Light.
I mean, I'm being a little bit hypocritical because I love me a delicious Coors Light. But also, it's one of those things you can drink all night and not get drunk. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm hanging for like 6 hours.
It's a session beer.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I can have a million of these and then I'll still be functional.
Well, that's the big difference between a lot of American beers right now and like Europe or England in particular. Because like there's a pub pretty much every 20 feet. Every one of them serves like 4 different kinds of, they got their bitter, they got their lager, and they're all like 4.5%, 5% at most. And you wonder why they drink all this beer. It's because it's not as alcoholic. They're just pounding these fuckers. They're still getting pissed, but they're doing it over 8 or 9 beers instead of like 3 like Bodies or like 2 Space Dusts, which is like over 10% alcohol.
Yeah, well, and I also think there's a communal aspect to it, much more than here. Because I mean, you and I will go to the bar and drink all night, like just hang out, talk, have a good time. It's what we do,
Right.
you know. But I think in America,
No one around us enjoys us, but we're having a good time.
I mean, as long as I'm having fun and other people are uncomfortable, that's usually the bar I'll attend.
Oh, jeez.
But definitely, you know, across the pond. I mean, and they say about us, they're like, Americans like to watch other people have a good time rather than have a good time.
Do they say that?
Yeah, because they're like, what would you rather do? Go play football or watch football?
I'd rather play football.
I would too, but when was the last time you played football?
I haven't played in a while, but I do still play soccer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all right. So if we're talking about footy, then yeah, I played like 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you like hockey. When was the last time you played hockey?
I've never played hockey.
When was the last time you watched hockey?
2 days ago.
There you go.
It's the finals, bro.
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying there's a valid point to Americans like listening to music. They don't like learning a new instrument, you know, things like that, which I think is fair.
Well, I guess I call bullshit. How fucking far do they take the European MLS or not MLS? What is the European League?
FIFA?
No, FIFA. Well, FIFA's the bigger
Or
group.
Premier League? Or
Yeah, Premier League. Yeah, EPL, things like that. English Premier League.
But
EPL.
what is the English Premier League sponsored by?
Lots of things, including
Lots of beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Well, beer. Oh shoot. Nah, I don't know. I'm trying to remember. There was a couple of them I remember. Remember when the Sounders were sponsored by Zulily? I thought that was the worst thing. We had Xbox. It was fucking cool. Then it was suddenly a clothing brand for women. And I was like, what the fuck? Or outlet, should I say?
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
Welcome to Seattle, where when Xbox makes too much money, we don't want to look at that jersey anymore.
I don't know.
But I will die on that hill of people in America would rather watch other people have a good time than have a good time themselves. And that's a problem.
I disagree. I think that people love to watch other people fucking suffer.
Well, I mean, I do.
Think
but
about
that's
that. Like we literally sat in the hotel room the first night and just watched bar disasters.
Well, yeah.
People sit around and watch the Kardashians blow shit up. I mean,
Yeah.
people are enjoying watching like Trump and Elon go at each other right now. We enjoy a good drama.
Well, yeah, but also we enjoy having a delicious beverage and talking about it
Yeah.
rather than, you know, going and punching Elon in the face,
Yeah.
which, you know,
He's already got one black eye.
more than anything, I'm like, that might fix it. What is it? Shovel face? What is it, Little Nicky, where he gets hit in the face with a shovel and then to fix it, they hit him with a shovel again?
Yeah. Ugh. I haven't seen that in so long. Do you know what you have that no one else has? A speech impediment? Well, yes, besides that.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies that didn't need a sequel, Happy Gilmore 2.
I'm so excited.
I hated the first one.
I mean, I grew up on that sophomoric Adam Sandler, and obviously,
Billy Madison I liked. I wasn't a fan of most of the other ones. Little Nicky was okay. Mr. Deeds, I think I enjoyed. Sneaky.
I mean, most of them. I mean, none of them are great.
Right.
But you know, if I want to put something on that I can listen to and not pay attention to at all, and maybe have a few laughs that I haven't had in 20 years, I'll put on. I mean, I still love 50 First Dates.
Well, that was a different side of it. I mean, that and like Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
I mean, those are brilliant movies.
Yeah. Or
Avoid Click though. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was garbage. I wanted to see it because it had Kate Beckinsale in it. And I was like, she's still hot, but God, I have to turn this movie off. Or pause it. Maybe just pause it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most rewinded tenths of a second. But
right. Why is this tape worn out right here? Don't ask question.
Yeah, don't have, it's an actual tape. You have a VCR over here.
I do.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're like, where do I take this?
Yeah.
Do you want to know why I have it? To watch Click. We just talked about it. Jesus Christ.
You're right. I'm not paying attention. That's my bad. I wasted all of my IQ points on country, and
I think all your IQ points got destroyed by country, as far as I can tell.
I still, even though they were destroyed, I still have more than most country artists. Idiots!
So there's one for you. Next topic. Do you have another one?
I do not. No, my whole thing was country today. I was on one.
You were ripping on. So, all right, let's get nerdy for a second. I've been kind of following the AI trend.
Uh-huh.
As you know, I've been doing a lot of work in that field lately. And I was reading an article that said, what's the real challenges with like job security and AI moving forward? And the thing that's really worrying in this is it's not that we're going to lose jobs. We're going to start losing entry-level jobs, they say.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are no longer hiring or hiring interns or bringing in interns or looking to hire entry-level data processors or in both legal and software and financial fields, because they feel it can all be done by AI. And I do mean right now. And then on top of that, if you start to look at how many efficiency cuts have been going on with Microsoft and Google and Amazon and all that, there's a real concern around like what is the tech field really going to look like in the next 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the worry that comes with that is if we, like right now, I'll be fine for a job, right? I'm not an entry-level idiot. I'm a mid-level idiot or a high-level idiot. I've worked on both senior-level code projects, executive-level code projects, things like that. I understand how all this shit goes together, and I can kind of do that. But what happens when I age out next year and we have no one that's really picked up that next mantle? Where do we find the next mid-level bartenders? Where do we find the next mid-level anything in this, right? And that's a concern. And the same thing with all these government cuts that have happened. The same problem starts looking at that. As people come out of college and start looking at these jobs, they're going to start moving towards other areas because of worries about job security and where they'll be able to find work. And so all these things that are right now used for all kinds of drug, safety, software, security, all these areas, the one group's going to age out and there's going to be no one to replace any of them in any of these areas. And what does that look like for the future of all these products? Let's not get into the fact that I think it's still a lark to believe that AI is going to be able to just pull all these jobs and do them. I spend a lot of time looking at what's coming out of it. Like I was using it to write some code and it was giving me deprecated code. I had to go like, bro, you can't use these libraries. It's like, oh, you're right. I'll use this library instead. And I'm like, why did I have to tell the AI that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're far from in the spot where it's going to be okay to use these things. Maybe a couple of years or whatever, right? They're always continuing to push more and more and more. But like, where do we think we're going with like the future of our employment within America? And I know the idea they want to bring more jobs back over from a seas and bring them in-house, but like no one's going to want to put in the screws on an iPhone. Do you want to put the screws in an iPhone?
I mean, what does it pay?
Not enough.
Okay, no.
So like, and so what do we feel the future is for right now, building for our like the next group? Like as we come out of this turn and into the next 20 years, who are going to be the next people to be working on this stuff and who's funding it?
Well, I had two major thoughts while you were talking.
Yeah.
One of them was, so if we have this AI created workforce, eventually these companies are going to shut down because they're going to run out of people who know what to do. You know, like as people age out and age out and age out, they're going to realize that some of those guys who aged out took some secrets with them to their grave.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing that they can do. They have to figure it out change something or just go bankrupt.
Mhm.
You know, which I wouldn't hate.
I don't know if they'll go I'm curious if it would be bankrupt or just simply shut down.
Or they probably have to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then
Or those jobs will move somewhere else.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking was, you know, if entry-level jobs like food industry, which, you know, I know a lot about,
Right.
or merchandise, you know, working in clothing stores, things like that,
Retail.
retail. If they start paying livable wages, no one's going to go to college anymore. Everyone's just going to go and work retail or at the food industry. And
Well, there's nothing wrong. I mean, so two things in there. There's nothing wrong with those with having one of those jobs if you want to
Of
be involved in
course.
there. I do agree that the idea that if you work 40 hours, you should be able to have a living wage, regardless of what you're doing. And no one wants to pay for that.
exactly. But
Nobody.
So that is the shift I could see, because no matter how great AI is, you need to have hands to make a sandwich.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
robot hands.
Yeah, right.
Hey, I went to that place that made it was supposed to be able to make. They had it in California, but the robot that makes the coffee,
Yeah.
spins shit around and all that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which, you know, cool, but
I want the subway robot
yeah, right.
so bad.
Well, and it'll probably go to a place where it's like, okay, how many of these people that used to work in bars and shit are now maintenance workers for those robots that, for when they break down? Because that's the thing with technology. Eventually, it fucks up.
I don't know. Like that was my favorite part of
Who's in it?
Luke Wilson. I think?
Oh, Idiocracy?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Idiocracy. Like that movie was hilarious to me because I kept thinking about like, how does all this shit keep working? All the systems that are doing all this stuff while they're all being stupid. It's like whoever built this infrastructure was amazing. How does this thing still work? Electrolytes. It's for plants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's-
go on. Sorry.
But no, you're good. But that's kind of my thing, is that, or I guess my point is that, like, yeah, it's technically a machine. You could program a machine to make a sandwich. But, I mean, we know with Wi-Fi, video games, computers, they do mess up sometimes. And how do you get AI to get past rebooting something? Or, you know, if you have to go unplug something and plug it back in, you know, sometimes the jobs, I think, are just too specific. And eventually you're going to have to lean on human beings to fix these things.
Well, at a certain point, I have to start asking the question: when there's nobody to do any of the work and there's no one that can buy all the stuff, what's left for any of us?
Yeah. I'll tell you what's left for us.
Country music.
Fucking country ass
is
fucking music.
Goodbye, Spencer.
Yeah.